Hey everyone, Jeff Armbruster here with It Starts With Change, coming to you live on location in my own gym. Just got done with my night workout. I always do some abs before bed. And I'm sitting here thinking about a topic that's been on my mind lately, and I said, what the heck, let's shoot it. Let's see how this comes out. Wanted to talk today about dating your spouse. Yes, it's going to be a relationship topic today, something that I haven't touched on too much, but you know what? There's nothing that I don't want to talk about, here on our channel. And if I can offer some really good advice to you guys out there, let's give it a shot. I want to talk about dating your spouse and what that really means. Dating your spouse basically means you and your husband or your wife put each other first, and you always remember, no matter what phase and what season of the relationship you're in, that your husband and wife first. And I'm going to talk about what that means here in a second. First, a little background history. My wife and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. Yes, that is really tough to do in today's world, where they say that 1 in 3 marriages fail. 25 years with the same person. Actually, it's been 32 years because we dated for 7 years before. How did that happen? It happened because we put each other first. We made a decision early in our relationship that we were going to do that. You go through a lot of different seasons of your relationship, seasons in life as a husband and wife. Those first few years are kind of honeymoon phase, and you guys have a lot of fun together before the kids come, a lot of trips, a lot of impromptu going out to eat. You guys really have a free reign to do what you want to do. So those first few years are easy. Where it starts to get a little, difficult is when you have kids. And not that kids aren't the greatest blessing in the world. Being a dad has been one of my favorite things in my life next to my wife. It's just been one of the best jobs I've ever had. I would never change it for the world. But some things change in your relationship when you become mom and dad. A lot of couples forget that they're husband and wife still, and that's such a big part of making sure your relationship and those fires burn, deep, is that even though you're mom and dad and you have responsibilities, mom and dad, and you're, tending and helping your kids grow up and become great, fine young adults, you have to remember that you're still husband and wife. You're still Mr. and Mrs. that got married so long ago because you were in love. That's what couples forget about. If you can somehow remember why you got married throughout all these seasons in your life and continue to date your spouse, more on that in a second, you're going to be okay. In a world where a lot of relationships fail, you have to wonder what they weren't doing, and was dating their spouse not a part of their plan. That's a huge part of it. Dating your spouse basically means that you're setting time aside for each other every week, no matter what you're doing. Early on it's easy, like I mentioned, but when you become mom and dad, you're still having some date nights, you're getting a babysitter, you're going out for dinner, going to a movie, you're doing small things with each other, because obviously you can't do huge things with kids, and having a babysitter at home, but you're still doing things with each other. You're setting and carving out time for each other, even though you have kids back at home. A little bit later in life, it becomes a little easier as those kids get older and you're able to maybe take weekend trips away because the kids are older and can handle the household back home on their own. You have weekend getaways. You might even fly somewhere for the weekend with your spouse. You're making that time a little bit broader and easier as your kids get older. There's still some difficult times, obviously, with me having a son that loves every sport in the world. We were always at soccer games or basketball games or track meets. Daughter, we were doing dance competitions and dance recitals. We were over at college with her. There's so many things that you love about being a mom and dad, and you're doing together with your spouse, but they're still not always that solid, just one-on-one time. And you got to make it. You got to carve it. Recently, she and I have become empty nesters. We've been thrown into that phase of our life, and it's been a little bit difficult to adjust not having the kids in the house. But we're making the most of it. We've actually taken some impromptu trips. We've done some weekend getaways. We've done longer camping getaways. We got a cruise coming up. And a lot of this is because we don't have the responsibility as much of being present mom and dad with kids in the house with them being away at college. So it's a different phase of our life. Guys, the point that I'm making is you got to put your spouse first throughout your whole marriage. You got to make sure that you guys have that ability to still see each other in the same way you saw each other when you guys got married. And that's not always easy for a lot of couples to do, and you have to make a commitment to do it. Nobody said that marriage was easy. It does take hard work, but that's what dating your spouse can do to make things a little bit easier for that long-term relationship. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you guys that this is going to work for everybody, because there are just some people out there that won't put that effort into it. But if you love your spouse still and you're going through some issues, maybe try this mentality of dating your spouse again. Try to have that discussion and tell them, look, we got to make time for each other. We got to go out. We got to do some things where it's just you and I. We can get sitters. We can have the kids stay home and do things on their own if they're old enough. But we have to carve out time for you and I. That is really what it's all about. If you guys can get that mentality in your marriage early on, that we have to make time for each other, we have to date each other, your relationship's going to be long and beautiful. I can't wait for 50 years. We just hit our silver. I can't wait for the next 25 years until we hit 50. It still seems like, it's year one for me with the love I have for my wife, and I, hope and feel that she feels the same way. But that's what it's all about. Guys, I'm going to do a blog article. I'm going to go into a little bit deeper detail on this. So check out our website, thatstartswithchange.com, for that article and many others. Our website is more than just, health and wellness. We also talk about personal development. We talk about relationships. We may talk about traveling. There's going to be some financial stuff in there. It's about everything that has to do with making healthy changes in your life and making sure that you are living your best life. So check that out, startswithchange.com. And look for more videos from us here on startswithchange.com's YouTube channel. We'll see you guys soon. This has been Jeff Armbruster, and take care, guys.